Our next guest ain't going to be talking to us about that. Sage Alvarez joins us from the Saged Up, very popular podcast. And we got to talk about how we got to be friends and your guy, Barry Long. I was on that show, Sage, with you. When was that? September, talking NFL?
Yep.
Was it Coachella Live? What was that show?
So it's Go Long with Barry Long, and right now it's Rudy, and it's on CoachellaValley.com.
That's what it is, CoachellaValley.com, and we were talking NFL, and I'm thinking I got hooked up with you guys through that XFL podcast, wasn't it?
Yep. I actually saw that on Twitter, and that's actually how I got to following you. As I saw you on that podcast, I listened to it as well, and I was intrigued, and it was a great topic at the time. You know, it was XFL going to be involved with the CFL, and it was a lot of great debate. You know,
it was great, and then it just went away, but we didn't.
We're still here.
Yeah, we're still here, and we stayed friends. So we got the questions here. I should have, my cousin Christine in Medicine had Alberta's watching. She says, is he going to the game? She's referring to our last guest, Mo Egger from ESPN 1530 Cincinnati. I would think he's going to the game. He was just telling us that his radio station does air the Bengals broadcasts. I'd like to think the Bengals would get Mo into the game, but you never know. But we're going to, Jenna Reagan, by the way, watching. Jenna says, good morning from Southern California. We're finally in Southern California to return the favor to Jenna. But Sage, Super Bowl, you got to tell me everything about Southern California. I don't know if you saw this week, some of our analysts have said if Super Bowl could ever get lost in a town, i.e. the town didn't know what was going on, it would be Los Angeles. LA knows what's going on, right?
Oh, yeah, they do. It's big time right now. Everyone's talking about it. It's on everyone's minds. And it's beautiful weather right now.
It's perfect.
It's perfect.
This is not seasonal. This is abnormal.
This is normal weather for LA right now.
It is. Oh, it's so beautiful. So tell me what your Super Bowl week's been like. I'm interested to get everybody's take. Down where you live, you said you're a 2-hour drive from here?
Yep, I'm in Palm Springs, California.
This is how far this guy came to be on the air, by the way, today. 2 hours. So what's Super Bowl week down there? What's going on down there?
Oh man, there's a lot going down. There's events going at Agua Caliente Casino. There's been just different events for my friends and family just getting ready for the big game. There's a lot of I think the Super Bowl kind of reminded me of how much the base in Los Angeles Rams is, because you still have the feeling they're mostly St. Louis fans, or just a casual we just want to watch football fans. And that's the complete opposite of what I'm getting from this week. I'm really seeing diehard Los Angeles Rams fans. And they just love that. You feel the energy. Everyone's talking about it on Twitter, Facebook. I mean, it's been going off on Twitter, to be honest with you.
Of course, but what's interesting about that is, were those people talking Rams all year long? Or are they just on it now because the Rams made it all the way to the championship?
I would say about 50% of them are just in the moment right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we've been Rams fans.
Of course. Well, and that's the thing is, so Jarrett Stoll, 2-time Stanley Cup champion, sat on that chair yesterday. And a Canadian guy, he's from Saskatchewan, where we're from, and he said he never grew up an NFL fan, but he's been in L.A. long enough, over a decade, that he goes, you can't escape the NFL if you live here. Like, it's just so big.
It's right here. It's in the heart.
Yeah, talk about the love of it here.
I mean, from football, I mean, even from my dad growing up in LA, I mean, he grew up as a Los Angeles Raider fan. And that love for football, it never went away from LA. And that's why football needed to come back here. I'm glad we're at this point now where we're at the Super Bowl week, and just to be able to be on this interview right now, it's big time for LA to be able to have this type of event. I mean, we haven't had it since the Coliseum. It's a long time.
Absolutely.
And especially in LA where you see the vibes around town. Everyone's loving football right now.
This guy is from Tourism Los Angeles, you would think, and he's not pulling anybody's leg. You're nailing everything that I've seen. And I want to say something else too about how nice everybody's been. Your niceness is almost hard to believe how nice you are. But I was saying how Sean, he's the only engineer and tech person I've ever seen that shows up in a suit to work every day. But here at the hotel, at the Westin, he stopped by here yesterday and he said, you guys just look so right here in this space. He's like, maybe you want to stay a little longer. He goes, it just seems to fit. Everybody's been so nice. And there's, been a lot of doors closed in our face over the years. Everybody's opening them up down here. Are people really this nice, Sage? Are they really this nice down here? Because everywhere we go, people are nice. We're talking about it all the time.
I would say, yeah, people are really genuinely this nice in California. I mean, especially in LA, there's so much going on. You're constantly going to event to event. That's why when the Super Bowl comes, everyone's like, okay, we're not talking about the Broadway play. We're not talking about the Lakers. This is about football this week. They're not trying to talk about LeBron right now because, and the Russell Westbrook situation. They're like, no, we're focused on the Rams this week. We'll focus on the Lakers next week.
Yeah. And that's why when Coach Reinbold was on with us on Monday was the sorry, I'm reading the comments here. Ryan McCarthy is watching in Saratoga, New York. Says, what's up, Sage? Your Twitter game is strong. We're going to come around to that because I've already mentioned that. I mentioned that to you. But when Jeff Reinbold was here on Monday, Sky Sports NFL analyst, he said that he was the guy that said if any city would swallow up the Super Bowl and people wouldn't know what was going on, it's LA. And Jeff's been to so many Super Bowls, I'm not going to discount him. But we were at a mall here not yesterday, not that close, and they've got the exhibits and the Rams balloons, blue and yellow, and football exhibits. And it is everywhere. Super Bowl. I don't know how you could miss that the Super Bowl is on
miss
here.
it.
Yeah, you cannot miss it. Now, if you want to follow this guy, the Twitter handle is @Saged_up.
That's right.
Saged up. If you want to know how to build your Twitter followers, you should put on a clinic, man. Just tell the folks what you've done in the last year. It's wild.
It's a pretty wild year for Twitter. Especially for me, I went from 600 followers a year ago, and now I'm at 18,000 followers.
And growing.
How about that?
Continue growing every single day.
Yeah, so tell the folks how you did it. It's you got to follow him, Saged_up, because you pose, it was like once an hour, you pose very thought-provoking questions on there.
Of course. My Mount Rushmore questions have been going off the charts. I mean, we're looking at like 300, 400, 500 comments on some of them. It's been outstanding.
And tell the viewers what you mean by your Mount Rushmore.
So a lot of my questions would be, who is on your Mount Rushmore of NFL QBs? And then we go down the list of positions. I've had times where I went down the Mount Rushmores of NBA, MLB, college as well.
You're like, who's your Mount Rushmore? Oklahoma State. I'm like, I can't name one. Yet, comments like crazy.
There's such a fan base. There's a fan base all over the country on my Twitter. And that's why I want to make sure it's to the point now where there was one time I don't think I posted a Cleveland Brown one. And I had people reach out to me like, you need to post a Cleveland Brown Mount Rushmore. I'm like, I got you, bro.
Right. So, listen, he wouldn't be the guy that would say who is on your CFL Mount Rushmore, but because our largest segment of our fan base is CFL fans and NHL fans, because this is a Canadian-based show, tell me, folks, what's your Mount Rushmore of the NHL and the CFL? And tell me now. It's going to take a while. Put some thought in. People put some thought into this, right?
They put so much thought into it. Some people said that they had to wait a day because they wanted to make sure that they put down the right answer.
My
amazing.
NHL Mount Rushmore is Gordon Howe. Have you done NHL? You must have.
I've done I did a defense one this week as well, and it was booming.
Well, the great thing is there's no right or wrong answers, really.
It's your Mount Rushmore.
It's your Mount Rushmore, exactly. But overall NHL, Gordon Howe, Wayne Gretzky. I got to think for a while. I've seen others. They're like Sidney Crosby and Connor McDavid. And again, no wrong answers. My CFL Mount Rushmore, Ron Lancaster, Damon Allen, Wally Buono. These names probably mean nothing to you, but they mean a lot to the Canadian Football League fans. That's the kind of stuff, thought-provoking stuff that our man Sage puts up. I want to read some comments here from our viewers. From the 902 text line, 902-518-3033. Pick up the phone and text RP. 902-518-3033. From Randy in the Peg, he says, RP crew, ask Mo about the McPherson. Nice story. That's the rookie kicker for the Bengals. We're going to have to get Mo back later on this week. Jeff Mooney, watching in the Bridge City, says, I know Farhan, TSN reporter is with us last hour, said the two Canadian quarterbacks help with the ratio, but if I remember correctly, Canadian quarterbacks don't count towards the Canadian number on the roster. I think they changed that. I think that it now does. But again, I don't know. The CFL changes. They change their rules every year. They've changed it? Yeah, they do now count. Thank you, Producer Clark. So he was right. Cheryl Sweet is watching in the Queen City. She says, I'm just pointing out this is the year of the Tiger. Could that mean the Bengals are going to win the Super Bowl? Thank you for Cheryl for pointing that out, because as we wind it up with Sage, let's just talk about the matchup. Bengals-Rams. I just think I got to go with the Rams because they're the better team. Have you made your prediction yet?
My heart wants the Bengals, but my mind and my money is going with the Rams.
Gotcha. Do you want to get cute and fancy and say by how much, or?
I'm going to go Rams by 14.
How about that?
How's the game going to go then, man? How is it going to happen?
So I definitely see the Bengals offensive line struggling heavily this game, and to a point where I could see Joe Burrow being in a constant duress throughout the entire game and not essentially throwing the ball into the defense, but he's going to be throwing some ducks. I really do believe Jalen Ramsey is going to take. I'd put money on Jalen Ramsey taking one back for pick 6 for the Super Bowl.
It's going to be a great game.
I'm loving it. I'm loving the excitement, and I really am rooting for the Bengals because the whole story behind them and just their playoff journey has been nothing short of incredible to watch.
It has been fun, and it's a heck of a story come Sunday. Folks, I will get to your Mount Rushmores in a second. Great question by you, man. People they love it. I love it. I love the topic of the Mount Rushmores. Sage, go long with Barry Long. What do people need to know about yourself and Barry and your shows and all the rest?
Oh man, so right now through my Twitter, I've been constantly just one of the things I love to do on Twitter is to help people. I want to help people with their podcasts. I want to be able to help spread the word and help you get more followers, help you bring my community into yours to help make your own community. I help a lot of people that, they only have 100, 200, 300 followers. And, I have people write to me like, hey, I'm at 1,000 now after following you for 2 months.
Yeah. And
I have all these people that engage with me. People love engagement. And that's what I want to bring I want to show them I'm listening to them. And I'm like, being honest with them and just having a good conversation, not like I'm forcing it.
Yeah. You're doing great stuff,
Just sports
Sage.
debates.
At Sage_up. Thanks for coming up, brother.
I appreciate you so much, Rod.
Yeah, I appreciate you too.
I'm grateful to be on the show today so much.
Grateful to have you. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching the RP Show on YouTube. And don't forget, we're live daily on YouTube from noon to 2 Eastern. If you like what you see, hit subscribe. And if you like the program, check around for other segments of the Rod Pedersen Show here on YouTube.